Hello again, my friends. I'm J.R. Dukes with JRDukes.com. I'm coming at you with another video, and today we are talking asset protection, one of my favorite subjects, near and dear to my heart. Folks, I am about to give you the honest truth when it comes to life and asset protection. I'm going to tell you what the bottom line is, what no attorney, at least to my knowledge, has ever told anybody. The secret to asset protection is one word, and the word is layering. It is called layering. It is called layering. Layering. You must layer your assets. You must layer your assets. Layering. It's called layering. It's called layering. Layering means basically, in its most simplistic form, there's not one magic bullet. You need a combination of things. Before I drill down on that, let's talk briefly what asset protection is, what asset protection is not, and why you need it. First of all, we live in a great country. I love our country. Let's be honest about it. If you're born here in America, you won the lottery. Having said this, we have many problems. One of the problems that we have is we happen to live in the most litigious society that has ever graced this earth. We are more litigious than the great Roman Empire, and we know what happened to the great Roman Empire. Obviously, I don't want to see that happen here, but I'm trying to illustrate a point that there are literally millions and millions of lawsuits filed every year. If you have never been sued, there is a very good chance you will be sued sooner or later. In the United States, being sued, especially if you're in business, especially if you're a doctor, if you are operating some kind of company, a restaurant, if you operate a car, the chance of having a lawsuit at some point in your life is absolute in my mind. I don't really see any way that you can avoid that. And the mistake many of us make is we think, oh, insurance is going to cover us. Or we think that a lawsuit is just not a real possibility because we're good people. I'm a good person. I won't be sued. Trust me, do not be that naive. Do not make that mistake. You need asset protection, and the sooner you realize this and the sooner that you get serious about it, the better off you're going to be. Generally, the way somebody ends up in the court system in a lawsuit is, for example, might be with your automobile. Let's say like yourself or one of your children, God forbid, has an accident. And let's say that it's an accident where some people got hurt, no one got killed. However, you have a $500,000 policy, and because you or a child of yours was at fault, maybe the damages come back to $1 million. Well, the insurance is going to be exhausted at that point, and they're going to be looking for the remaining balance of the judgment of $500,000. And they're going to turn to your house, they're going to turn to your other assets to satisfy that judgment. Generally, what an insurance company will do, or what a plaintiff will do after they've exhausted the insurance, is they're going to do a search of your name on public records. They're going to see what properties you own. They're going to try to see exactly where your bank accounts are. And if you are what's called a deep pocket defendant, and if you are a deep pocket defendant, you are in trouble if you end up in a lawsuit and you do not have asset protection strategies in place. Now, I want to tell you what asset protection is not. In my mind, asset protection is not hiding your assets. You can do certain things to hide your assets. For example, you could have your vehicle owned by a trust or even an LLC. Or you can put your personal residence in what's called a land trust. There's certain things you can do, but ultimately, if you have a creditor, if you have someone that has a judgment against you and they're motivated enough and they're mad enough and they are determined enough to get your money, they're going to get you. They're going to find out what you own. And the way it works is like this. They'll go to a judge in the particular county that you live in, and they'll say, Judge, I would like this particular judgment debtor to come in, sit down for a deposition, swear under oath that they're going to tell the truth, the full truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury. And the judge will make you do that. And you will at that time have to disclose any and all assets that you are remotely connected with, directly, indirectly, by third parties, by proxy, whatever. Trust me, there is no getting away with this. At that point, the gig is up because these attorneys know exactly what questions to ask you. And you do not want to commit perjury by not giving a proper answer or not giving a complete answer, or worse, lying. They can and they will and they do prosecute people for lying under oath. You do not want to do that. Asset protection is where you can walk in to a deposition like that and say, here are my assets, and there's nothing you can do about it because they're fully and completely protected. And that's what I hope to teach you as you tune in and watch my videos. When a judgment creditor takes a look at your assets and they see layering, they see that your house, for example, is in Florida and it is protected by a homestead act that the state of Florida has, and it's 100% protected. Or that you have employed another layering technique of equity stripping. You have taken all of the money that is available in your house and you've stripped it out and done other things with the money. If they see that you own other LLCs that control business interest that you are affiliated with, if they see other trusts that you control assets that belong in those trusts, but they're not reachable by the creditors. If they look at everything in your life and they see that you have properly layered everything with equity stripping technique, LLCs, LPs, there's all kinds of different miscellaneous companies and trusts that you can start and use legally, properly, ethically, and it can help you build this layering that I am talking about. For example, you can take all of your personal assets that you own, such as your furniture in your house and different effects along them lines, and you can put them in a trust that you create today. And you can make sure essentially that you own nothing, that everything is in a trust that maybe you're holding in trust for your children. And the trust allows you to use the assets, to benefit from those assets, to enjoy those assets, but you're simply a steward. You're a caregiver. You're the trustee of those assets, and you're holding them to a particular date in the future for the benefit of a third party, which may be your children. That is layering. That is protection. That is keeping people from taking your assets from you. It has been said many times before, I can't remember exactly who said it, I think it was Rockefeller, and he had it exactly correct. And that is, you own nothing and you control everything. And my friends, that's what you need to do. You need to layer your assets, your holdings. You need to take it seriously. The sooner you start on it, the better. And you need to employ the techniques that I'm talking about here today and make sure that you own nothing outright in your name, yet you control everything. That's exactly what it's all about. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out and talk to me. I'm happy to answer any questions or help in any way that I possibly can. If you have received value from this video, I'd appreciate it if you hit the thumbs up and subscribe so you can be made aware when my next video comes out. I want you to always remember to, folks, have that free mind, never give up. I am J.R. Dukes.